starts now.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brittany Folkers, and we start tonight with a plea for help from the FBI. Investigators are now offering a big reward to find the people who lit several reproductive health care centers on fire. Catherine Cook has a look at the cases, including new video from one of the attacks.
Vandalism, arson, threats of violence cannot be acceptable in this, our shared community.
An admonishment from the feds, now backed by $35,000 in reward money, $25,000 from the FBI and $10,000 from the ATF. On Thursday, they laid out 3 unsolved cases, 3 arson attacks at 3 different reproductive health centers in Oregon. First, the Oregon Right to Life building in Kaiser. On May 8th, around 10:40 p.m., police say someone threw multiple Molotov cocktails into their building on River Road. Newly released security video shows someone pulling items from the trunk of a white sedan, possibly a 2017 or 2018 Hyundai Elantra. After an explosion, you can see someone running back to the car and take off.
It was disconcerting, of course, and we didn't know if there would be additional attack.
Lois Anderson is executive director of Oregon Right to Life, an anti-abortion nonprofit. She's grateful damage here was minimal. Since the attack, they've increased security and hope the reward money will make a difference.
Even when you disagree with someone very intensely, violence is never the answer.
The attacks happened around the same time the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Early on June 10th, police and firefighters responded to the Pregnancy Resource Center in Gresham. The building on Northwest 11th Street was engulfed in flames. Investigators found multiple Molotov cocktails on the ground under a broken kitchen window. And then, over the 4th of July weekend, a third arson attack and vandalism. This time at the Mother and Child Education Center on Northeast 41st Avenue in Portland. Someone spray painted the words, "If abortion ain't safe, neither are you, JR."
It's devastating and ridiculous. Like, we're just serving people. We're just here to help others.
Executive Director Maura White says someone also threw a lit flare into the building.
The fire investigator just said we were lucky. It got put out. They're like, I don't know how this went out without burning. So we were really lucky.
At this point, investigators aren't certain if all 3 attacks were carried out by the same person, but they're looking at all angles. Besides bringing those responsible to justice, they want to make sure they don't do this again.
When we talk about this level of violence, and it is sometimes so understated or downplayed, like, well, it's just another Molotov cocktail. No, it's not. It's not at all. This is serious violence.
In Northeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Caught on camera, a Mission Impossible style heist at a local Walmart. Well, it was almost a heist. This is the suspect as he was loading up a bag with thousands of dollars in jewelry from a case at the Woodland Walmart. It happened early Christmas Day. Police say the would-be thief got in from the roof. He opened a skylight and used a rope to rappel down into the store. But after all that, the man dropped the bag full of jewelry as he was escaping. Police think an alarm spooked him. He did get away before officers got on scene, so now they're looking for tips on who this man might be. We're following up tonight after students and a sheriff's deputy were possibly exposed to fentanyl at a Yamhill County school. It was our top story last night at 11. The deputy was flagged down at Willamina High School to check out a strong smell in one of the modular classrooms that was making students feel sick. The deputy found evidence someone had been burning pills on a piece of foil in the bathroom. They believe the pills contained fentanyl. We wanted to know just how dangerous secondhand smoke from fentanyl could be, so we talked with the medical director of the Oregon Poison Center. He says research shows the risk of passive exposure to fentanyl smoke is very low, as the vapor or powder likely wouldn't be concentrated enough to inhale and create health problems.
There is little to be concerned about being near someone who is using fentanyl. Generally, secondhand smoke is what it's often called, although it's not really smoke. It's like, really fentanyl vapor, but being in the same room with someone who is using fentanyl is not a concern for you to get a significant amount of fentanyl.
The Yamhill Sheriff's deputy, however, reported having tightness in the chest, tingling in the fingers, and a loss of feeling in their legs. The sheriff's office is waiting on a toxicology report from the deputy's hospital stay to determine if fentanyl played a role in the reaction. New tonight, economists say Oregon continues to see a strong job market, with many businesses bouncing back from the pandemic. But one industry that stayed strong during the height of COVID is now struggling. Alma McCarty joins us to explain. Alma.
Well, Brittany, tonight I spoke with workers laid off just last year after decades-long careers helping people purchase homes. They want people to know many who worked in the mortgage industry are now facing a cliff, with unemployment benefits running out.
New data from the Oregon Employment Department showed an increasing unemployment rate.
Between July and December, the unemployment rate has risen from 3.5%, which was near its record low, to 4.5%.
But more jobs added statewide, according to state employment economist Gail Krummenauer.
Employers added 6,100 jobs over the month. There were many sectors that had large job gains. Manufacturing grew by 2,400 jobs over the month. We saw an increase of 1,300 jobs in construction in December. And we also saw 1,100 jobs added in professional and business services.
Overall, in 2022, employers added more than 81,000 jobs.
For workers, plenty of job opportunities out there for them to be able to choose from.
However, certain sectors like education, leisure and hospitality, and other parts of the service industries have struggled to get back to pre-pandemic employment levels. Another sector that's taken a hit: finance and insurance.
It's lost about 1,500 jobs over the past year. So we are seeing a little bit of unemployment drop.
No one knows that reality better than Donna Rogers, Melanie Richards, and Christy Rowe, who've worked in the mortgage industry for more than 20 years.
Everybody's saying inflation's getting better, and it is, but it's not for our industry. Our industry is, for the most part, based on interest rates. And as you know, last year, interest rates literally doubled from 3.5 to over 7, and which follows suit with people not wanting to borrow because they either can't afford it, especially first-time home buyers.
2 senior loan closers and an underwriter. They've been out of work since last summer.
Even though you know things are slow, you're never really prepared until you get that call.
Despite their ongoing efforts to find work, they've hit numerous roadblocks.
Any mortgage jobs that are out there, there's 25 to 3,000 people applying for these jobs. And, you know, I use Indeed a lot, and it'll show how many applicants. And that's nationwide.
And their unemployment benefits are nearly out.
It's scary knowing that we won't be getting any type of supplements.
Now, all 3 of them tell me that they are looking outside of that industry for jobs and that they're optimistic, but they don't believe the mortgage industry itself will bounce back quickly. Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Tonight, we're putting a recent string of whale deaths on the Oregon coast in focus. 3 have washed up on the beach in just a week. So is it cause for concern? Well, first, it's most important to know all 3 whales died in different ways. The first, that washed up last week near Reedsport on the central coast, appeared to have been attacked by orcas. Then, over the weekend, a 40-foot sperm whale came ashore at Fort Stevens State Park. That was hit by a ship. And just yesterday, a baby gray whale washed ashore on the same beach. Experts haven't figured out exactly how it died, but think it may have been stillborn. Though these deaths are not linked, scientists say gray whales right now are going through what they consider an unusual mortality event. Over the last couple of years, researchers have been seeing higher numbers of malnourished animals and fewer calves. The leading theory right now is that environmental changes in the high Arctic may be affecting the whale's food sources. Once researchers are able to examine the baby gray whale that showed up at Fort Stevens yesterday, they could find valuable clues as to what's going on.